So let's move on over to topic 2. Let's talk some sports. More like let's talk some wrestling. Of course we're talking wrestling. It's the podcast. What are you talking about? We're going to talk about the Royal Rumble. I know we're a little early, but the Royal Rumble is approaching towards the end of January. So I wanted to do a little bit of predictions of who's going to be in the Rumble. You know, who do I want in there? We got always the fun times of guessing because it is just that time. 30 entrants, not all of them get entry or shown off. Who's going to be the surprises, stuff like that. So just want to talk about the Rumble predictions, what I think is going to go down, all that fun stuff. So let's talk about what we do know as of recording. Once again, we're recording ahead of time, so maybe there will be a bunch more announced, and I'll be like, well, shit, that's wrong. Let's talk about what we do know ahead of time and just get that out of the way. So obviously, men's and women's Rumbles. Duh, that's happening. In terms of title pictures, we don't have anything rock hard set in stone. Rock hard set. What are words? Set in stone. It seems like we're building towards Orton versus Roman Reigns. I'm going to do that. Seth might go against Drew. Maybe we're going to continue this storyline that we're kind of setting up. We do have Cody Rhodes in the Rumble. We do have CM Punk in the Rumble. I believe on Friday Night SmackDown, Bayley said she was going to be in the Women's Rumble. I could be wrong there. So we have a few things set up. We also have the Cody Shinsuke story. We've got some tension there. We have some tension with the returning AJ Styles and LA Knight. Yeah, maybe they're going to have something or at least meet up and smack each other in the Rumble a little bit. It seems like Logan Paul is going to defend his title against whoever wins this U.S. Open tournament. Gunther's doing his IC title stuff on Raw. But we did have hints of Kofi, Ricochet, and Chad Gable doing something to see who's next in line. Will there be a fatal four-way at the Rumble, or will it just be Gunther's in the Rumble and we get to revisit him and Cody from last year? I don't know. So we got a few seeds planted here. Now, on the negative side of things, let's talk about things that aren't going to happen. Well, we had obviously a few releases this past year, so we got some people who aren't going to make it or aren't going to be included in the Rumble. But also injuries, unfortunately, have gotten in the way. So from the NXT side of things, Wesley is out of competition. He's out for was it a year? I don't recall. He's out for a while with some back injury, having some pain in his legs. And speaking of pain in the legs, Charlotte is legit hurt and is out for 9 months with a torn ACL. So that's not great. That's going to be a big hit, especially going into Mania season. I know I'm not Charlotte's number one fan, but seemed like they were going to build maybe her and Jade Cargill, or obviously she was going to be in the picture somewhere just because of her name value, let's say, and what she can bring to the table. So we got those hiccups there. In terms of winners, before we start talking about participants, who do I think is going to win the Rumble? Well, with the addition of CM Punk, things get a little, how do we say it, interesting, shaky. I don't think he comes in and just, I hope he didn't just come in and then shake up everything. You know, I think they would stick to the plan. Triple H and those guys have been telling a long narrative storyline with the Bloodline and Cody and Roman Reigns. I don't think they would just be like, oh, Cody or CM Punk's back, and just dump that over to the side. I think we would maintain that, keep that story going there. It seems like they're going to build towards Punk and Seth at Mania. Does that mean Punk wins the Rumble? I would only like Punk winning the Rumble for one reason, because of the surprise factor. Right now, my thought is Cody's winning the Rumble. Cody has to win the Rumble. That's how he gets back to Roman. With them being on opposite brands, he can pick whatever champion he wants. He's going to go after Ilya Dragunov in NXT. No, that's a lie. This is the easiest way to get plot A or point A to connect to point B. Boom. Go back at WrestleMania, do the rematch, have him finish the story, right? It's the most obvious thing. Now that's where I'm like, dreading this Rumble. Maybe not dreading. Dreading sounds very dramatic. I like being dramatic. As the thing I'm not looking forward to this Rumble is Cody. Not because I don't like Cody, not because I don't want to see him finish the story. It's just predictable. It's like last year's Rumble. Last year's Rumble was good and enjoyable, but we're all like, where's Cody? Yep. Oh, he's 30? Okay, well, Cody's got this thing. We have this just Cody wins here. It like I said, dramatic. I'm being dramatic. It just takes away the whole experience. Now, they have a lot of seeds because they're cooking. They have a lot of seeds and things going on at the same time in terms of storylines that we can build upon in this Rumble. And I appreciate that because that's obviously... We've done that in the past with Rumbles. Like, oh, this is setting up this. Or this is a continuation of this storyline. I like those aspects. Those seeds are being planted now. We're going to harvest them at the Rumble. We're going to continue these stories. With Cody just being the winner, the suspense mystery factor is out of it. And that's where it's only like, yeah. So if Punk were to win, it's a shakeup. It's different. It's like, whoa. Now I know. We've talked about Punk on this channel a few times. When we've dipped into the wrestling conversation, I know Punk has his fans. Punk has his haters. Punk has his middle grounders. Like, I'm a little bit more middle ground. I'm still not happy with, like, how things went in AEW backstage-wise. But I'm like, hey, I'm happy he's back. Maybe that's just me being a selfish WWE fan. But like, haha, we got him. In a way. But I understand... where if Punk were to win this, then it's just like, fuck, now he's here, and he's done that. He could just go to Mania and fight Seth if Cody's doing the Roman thing. Like, Punk's already on Raw. You don't need him to win the Rumble to then challenge Seth. You can shenanigans your way into that, whether it's an Elimination Chamber or something else, right? And we've already had those seeds planted in between those two of like, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So, I think the obvious answer is Cody wins this. Could it become those two in Final Two? I know ages ago people were talking about Cody Gunther being Final Two, akin to last year, but now Gunther's in later, maybe as the 30 spot, tension there. I don't know. I think those are our two front runners of winners, right? Cody's probably going to win it. It just is sad because, like I said, then it takes away the mystery element in terms of the men's Rumble. It's just like, all right, it's a foregone conclusion. Cody wins it. We're just here to kill an hour, right? Who do I want to see in the men's Rumble? So, like I said, we have some seeds planted. AJ Styles, LA Knight, We're Orton's not in it. He'll be in the world title picture. We could see a Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso face-off. We could see that. We got Owens going against, some people here, but if Kevin Owens wins the U.S. title thing, he'll be against Logan Paul, so that doesn't really add up. Who do we see make an appearance on the men's side? In terms of wrestlers making their returns, I think Braun Strowman is a high probability. He's been out for a while. I believe he had neck surgery. But he's going around. He's doing the kind of pressers and whatnot. I know he wants to return and try and do his part to respect Bray Wyatt and his passing this year and do kind of like an homage or dedicate this run to him. So I think Braun is a safe bet in terms of he'll be in it. Obviously, AJ Styles making his return after a vacation. Let's see who else is probable as I scroll through here. All right, I'm just elephant in the room. Big E. I called for Big E to return last year. Didn't happen. I'd love for Big E to make a return here. However, I'm not going to get my hopes up. It seems like E's injury maybe a little bit more serious than we thought. Like, he's fine. He's able to do everything outside of wrestling. Like, it seems like he's living a happy life. That's the important thing. That's number one. It's a heartbreaker, you know? I want him back in here. I selfishly want him back on TV. But I'd rather, obviously, he's happy and healthy. If he keeps doing the up, down, down stuff occasionally, those appearances just warm my heart. Anywhere he pops up is great, because he brings that good energy, is a good guy, or seems like a good guy. So, if he can't hop back in, it's just more of like, that's a shame, you know? Obviously, these things happen. It is what it is. I just don't want it to be over. But that's selfish, once again. So, do your thing. I'd love for E to be back more on television regularly, but I know it's always going to be a thing, at least from the fans' eyes. I mean, you can see me doing it right now, and he's not even on TV. I'm like, oh, when's E coming back? Oh, he's doing this? Oh, he's doing that? Like, we gotta learn to let it go, but we can't, damn it. So, doubtful, but it could happen, but doubtful. All right, we talked about Braun. Squirrel. Anybody else that's catching my attention? At least on the current roster. We haven't talked about obviously the big surprises, if any. I don't think we'll see any GM shenanigans in here. Aldis is still obviously new to the SmackDown GM role, so I don't think he'd make an in-ring appearance just yet, if ever he's going to wrestle for WWE. And same with Pierce. Like, obviously, he hasn't done anything for this longest time, so I don't think he's going to jump the shark and go in there as well. I don't think we have a Viking Raider return. Eric just went under his surgery recently, so that is probably not happening. There's a chance of Booker T, but they got him last year with being in Texas, so he got his hometown pop there, which once again may allude to our Philadelphia friends later on for surprises. No, Philadelphia's Mania. This is Florida. My bad. Tampa, Florida, so never mind. Scratch that. I don't know if we'll see any of the OG, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows. They've been kind of MIA, just picking up that paycheck. Good for them. Logan Paul's an iffy just because if he's defending his title or not. Not a lot of people calling out to me in terms of the guys in the current roster. I know I haven't talked about NXT surprises yet. Just trying to think main roster folks. Oh, Sami Zayn. I think he's a high probability. You set up this storyline with Drew. Now, that's where things get a little shaky in terms of, like, what happens with Seth. If Seth and Drew fight, I think that's less of a probability of Sami being in the Rumble. Now, the reason I would put it as a less probability is you have this storyline building with Drew, right? Drew is lashing out. He's taking out people that have wronged him or are, forgiving Jay and the bloodline for what they've done, or at least Jay, when Drew's seeking justice, but he's being painted as the bad guy. Drew lashed out when we were at Raw, beats up Sami, takes him out, causes a knee injury. The knee injury is kayfabe. He's taking time off. Well-deserved. If Drew's in the Rumble, I think this is a smart time to bring back Sami, because you already have these seeds planted to them. They can brawl in the Rumble. Sami can throw him out, or Drew could even throw out Sami. You have that mix of story elements going on throughout the Rumble. So, Sami's a maybe. I would lean more towards a yes if Drew is in the Rumble. I would lean more towards no if Drew is going for title. That's my opinion there. No. Shane McMahon. Nope. No, thank you. Sheamus hasn't returned yet, right? Yeah. I don't know if he was out with injury or just taking some time off, but Sheamus could be a good one for a likely return. You know who I'd like to make a return, or this would be a weird one? Wade Barrett. You had him as DLC in 2K23. He's an announcer now. I know, I get it. But that could be a fun one-off. Just throw him in there, have some fun with that. Yeah, that's it for the main roster, guys. Okay, so let's talk about surprises. Now, contracts. There's a lot of people, a lot of news going on of like people's contracts going out with companies, people re-signing, people going to other companies. We had recently Will Ospreay was a big question mark of where he's going, but he signed All Elite. Sad face. No, he's going to do great stuff over there. But there's another big name whose contract is coming up soon. Now, I don't know specifics, so if it's after the Rumble, my bad. But one Rainmaker, Mr. Okada, he's on the free agent list. Apparently, he's doing a show with Impact. I don't know when that show with Impact is, so once again, apologize. But he's on the table. That could be interesting. I've heard, obviously, a lot of great things about Rainmaker. I haven't, I've only seen one match. And that was the initial All In. Sorry, New Japan All Wrestling. Okada. I'm trying to see if I can see. Kazuchika Okada. When does his contract end? Set to become a free agent in 2024. Okay, so it's the new year, but it doesn't say specifically. So there's a chance. I don't know. There's a chance. There's always a chance. Never say never. He has no history with WWE. He's probably got history with Nakamura. So, depending on where this Cody storyline goes, if Nakamura and Cody wrap up their stuff, maybe Okada makes an appearance, does something with Shinsuke, could set up a program for Mania there. Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those big names that it's a big question mark. It's one of those ones over the years, like, oh, Kenny Omega's going to be in the Rumble. Oh, Jay White's going to be in the Rumble. I think AJ was the only one where it actually happened. AJ Styles. Don't get me wrong. Awesome. I don't know. I just don't know the likelihood of it. That's like the supreme mystery. And I'm not sure if I'm excited about it or if I'm just like, nothing against him. It's just like the odds of it happening are in that flux. So I don't know if I should get excited and then just be like, it didn't happen, He's probably the big one that I can think of in terms of wrestling free agents on the male side of things. Because I think, obviously, Impact's going through their rebrand back to TNA soon. And I think they've been re-signing a lot of their talents and signing new talents. Like, I know Kushida's been signed there. Trent Seven's been signed there. And that's great. I don't know if any of the main players are losing contracts there. Like, I believe Eddie Edwards re-signed. He was probably the biggest name I can think of. So I'm not sure. I don't know when Josh Alexander's a free agent. I feel like he's probably locked in for a while. Yeah. Do we see any of the releases make a return? That's a tough one. I mean, Dolph would be great. Dolph would be fun. But I'm not sure. Looks like Willie Mack is not signed anywhere. You got the newbies. Like, more rookie-esque people that I don't know, like on the independent circuit, but I don't know if anybody would make a big enough splash, for the Rumble of like, oh my god, people know them. I know Rumble tends to be more the hardcore people, so that's how they're able to get these exciting pops. But we'll have to see. Cardona's name's thrown around for a while just because he's blown up on the independent circuit and done well for himself since his release. Obviously, Chelsea Green is over in WWE. So there's always a chance, but I don't know. I know he's been a name that's thrown out there for a while. But yeah, I think Okada's the only name I can really think of in terms of outside for the men's side of things who could make an appearance or would be on my radar of like, yeah, I want them to show up. Don't have Brock show up, please. All right, let's talk about the ladies. So, like I said, I believe Bayley's the only one to call herself actually in this thing. So we got a lot of free roam or free game to play around with in terms of who's going to be in there. We have some stories set up, obviously with Damage Control against the Good Guy Squad of Bianca, Shotzi, Mia Yim, Zelina Vega, like those kinds of folks. Charlotte, we talked about her unfortunate the timing of her injury. That's too bad. I didn't talk about any NXT for the men. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's weird because they've already been kind of mixing in NXT talent a little bit here and there. Like, obviously, Dragon Lee's been on SmackDown a lot now. He's NXT champion, or rather the North American champion. I don't think you have Stax or Tony D pop up there. Wes would have been one of my bigger ones just because he seems like on that upswing. Maybe a Braun Breaker. Carmelo Hayes was in the U.S. Championship tournament this past Friday. It's this weird gray area where they have more NXT people featured on the main roster from time to time, at least it seems, on the SmackDown side of things. But being Florida and NXT being based out of Florida, there could be a higher chance there of like, oh, let's get NXT talent in here. So I put Braun and Carmelo probably at the top. I put an Axiom and a Dragon Lee towards the next tier, and then maybe a Dijak. I don't know if Dijak would, like, it'd be good. He would be good. I don't know if it would get the exciting pop, you know? Wow, that was a hard P. Trying to think of somebody else. Yeah, I don't know. All right, sorry. Back to the ladies. So let's go through the roster right now, and at least in terms of a return, who from the current roster on the ladies' side of things could make a return, make a buzz. I don't think any of our recent moms are going to be back, so I don't think we'll see Alexa Bliss. I don't think we'll see Carmella. I don't think either of them probably are ready. Also, let them hang out with the kids. Let them enjoy their time. So I don't think that either of them will be here. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Liv Morgan. Recently apparently arrested for some marijuana possession. I would have put her at the higher tier of like, yeah, if she's healthy, come back. Now, granted, in the terms of what you could get arrested for, marijuana possession, not on the higher end anymore. So I could see that being more of a slap on the wrist, like, hey, you got to be more careful about this, or whatever it is. I could still see it being a possibility. Just could have put a little bit of a twist and a red flag, yellow flag, whatever you want to call, on that return if she's ready to make a return. But seems like everything got settled. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Things going on there. Looking through the roster, who catches my attention from the ladies? Charlotte's injury once again. Dakota Kai. That's a question mark. I don't know where she's at with her recovery. I'd like to see Dakota Kai back in. Obviously, she's been on TV more as that speaking role, being involved in Damage Control. I don't know if she's ready to hop in the ring just yet. If she is, big thumbs up. If she's not, no worries. We haven't seen the Isla Dawn or Alba Fire, I think, wrestling sometime, so they should get in there. I don't know what we're doing with that spooky team. Should be doing more, in my opinion. We already got the fun surprise of Kyrie being back. That could have been a Royal Rumble surprise, but we decided to pull the trigger at Crown Jewel. So, hey, it's a win. Not a surprise, but a win. I'd like to see Lyra... Well, that's a skip. I'm skipping ahead to the NXT for a moment. I'd like to see Lyra Valkyria in there. Get the NXT Women's Champ in there. Have some fun. I think most... Raquel Rodriguez. She's been out. I don't know if she's in a storyline injury. I remember her last match was with Nia Jax. This could be a floor for her to make a return. Make a pop. Make a surprise. Other than that, I think that is everyone. I don't think Sonya Deville's ready to come back yet. I could be wrong. Trish has not been anywhere for a while. Maybe Trish makes a return since her loss to Becky Lynch in that steel cage match. Yeah. Okay. So, there's your main roster, folks, at least in terms of returns, who could be in there. So let's talk about NXT before we talk about those surprises. So we talked about Lyra Valkyria. Talking too fast. Be cool to see her as the NXT Women's Champ, get a pop or an appearance in there. I think Tiffany Stratton is a higher probability. She's been crushing it down at NXT. I think a lot of people feel like she's ready for the main roster or going to get called up, especially with the recent feud with Becky Lynch. That being a helping hand there. So I think Tiffany's higher on the probability scale. Does Roxanne make another appearance? She was in last year's. There's a chance. She's in this weird area where I was like, I thought she was ready for a call-up. And then, nope, we're still doing stuff with her down here. So it's like, where are you in terms of progression, you know? Cora Jade recently made a return to NXT. I personally think she's very boring. So, in my opinion, wouldn't matter to me, but I could see it as a chance. Gigi Dolan's been doing main event tapings. She and Elektra Lopez had a match when I was there recently. Maybe. The whole Toxic Attraction thing kind of fell apart. So I don't know if the excitement is there. We got the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament recently. I don't know if any of those participants would show up. Not that they did bad or poorly or anything. I just don't know in terms of a wider audience if they're at that level of a big enough character, you know? I guess technically NXT, let's get Mako Satomura in here. I don't know where she is. She hasn't been around for ages since the NXT UK merger thing. Get her involved. Like, legend status? Come on. Just throw her in there once. Obviously doesn't have to run the table, but that could be fun. Nikita Lyons recently made her return this past Tuesday. Maybe. She's got to build back up her momentum. Yeah, I think Tiffany is the probably number one probable. I put Lyra at a 2. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, nobody's calling out. So let's talk about surprises. All right. I think we got, surprisingly for the ladies, and it's a good thing, I think we have more surprise potential for the ladies' rumble than the men's rumble. And maybe this is just my thinking, and once again, the free agency contracts, all that crap. So, big one. Everybody's talking about it with CM Punk's return. Does AJ Lee make an appearance in the rumble? I think she's in Women's of Wrestling, or at least manages, or does some kind of backstage type stuff for them. So she might be more ring ready. I think that would be great. I know AJ was very popular with a lot of people, so that could be a fun one. Throw AJ Lee back in there for a return, similar to Punk after 10, maybe more years? No, maybe less. No, it's got to be more, right? That could be fun. Mickie James, recently a free agent from Impact. that could be another fun one. Obviously, last year she made the appearance doing the first cross promotion from Impact, being the Knockouts Women Champion, making that appearance. Was it last year? 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Vince was still in charge. 2 years ago. My bad. So having her return under the Triple H banner. Obviously, Aldis is there. Not that they can't work in different promotions, but that could be a perk of, hey, hubby's here, you know. Maybe a little bit more open with the conversations. Mandy Rose. What's the potential of Mandy Rose? I don't know. She seems like she's doing well with her, well, not side hustle anymore, her main hustle of the OnlyFans stuff. So, I don't know. Could get a pop because the Florida and the NXT relationship, you know, but who knows. I feel like there was someone else. Oh, okay. Now, this one I can't speak too much about because I don't know much about the New Japan circles or the Stardom circles. There's been a lot of rumors about, or at least there were a bunch of rumors about Julia being an interest for Triple H. Could she make an appearance here? I'd say yes. That's another one I'm concerned of, like, I don't know how much of the WWE bubble knows about Julia. Once again, it's the Rumble, so you usually got your hardcore, the hardcores there. So they know a wide array of people. That way, when surprises do happen, you know, they get a reaction. Then from there, you kind of see from the week-to-week television and the town-to-town how the reaction goes. But that could be potential. If those discussions are still on the table, I haven't heard of any news of Julia since those rumblings. So there's a chance. It's just, I don't know. That would be, I think it'd be cool just because new people to watch, and I don't know anything about you. Show me what you got. Like that kind of stuff. That would be fun. And then, once again, elephant in the room, Jade Cargill. When does she make an appearance? Is she ready for the Rumble? Is she not ready for the Rumble? I feel like she has to at least show up just to be like, oh my God, you're still here doing things. I think this would be a good kickoff point for her. Obviously, maybe you want to do more of an entrance with her when she appears. Obviously, the Rumble, there's only really 2 positions you could do that for. Granted, AJ made his appearance at 3, so you could argue. But you want to have that stage of, like, time to make it that moment, I guess. But there's a chance. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I think there's rumors of Deonna Purrazzo, but I don't know if there's time, like when her contract runs out. I think Jordynne Grace is still signed with Impact. From the AEW side, I think everybody's locked in. Yeah. So, I think big ones. I think Jade. I think that's a probable one. I really am hoping for Mickie James. I think that could be a fun one. And then I already forgot who my first one was. Memory's a bitch. But yeah, I think I would lean towards those 2. And I think Julia would be a fun one. Just because of the new factor, you know. I don't have any knowledge there. Oh, AJ Lee. Duh. Sorry. Wow. Like I said, memory sucks. So we got 4 good ones. I would say probability-wise, Jade's highest, then Mickie. Then it's probably a tie between Julia and AJ of like happening or not happening. But yeah, that one's got some fun possibilities, and the possibility of like who wins this. Currently, you got Io. It looks like Bayley would be the front runner there to take on Io. Rhea, on the other hand, I know Becky was a high talking point of like that was going to be the storyline. I honestly don't know. I don't know who wins this Rumble and walks away. Damage Control still seems somewhat strong. I know we've been keeping Bayley a little bit on the outskirts here and there, but it doesn't seem as cut and clear as the men's side of storylines where these are going to go with these 2 ladies. I assume Rhea and Nia are going to fight at the Rumble. So That takes Nia out of things. EO doesn't have a strong contender lined up right now. Granted, you still got, 40 days. Things can change. I don't know if they would rush into the Bayley storyline at the Rumble. I think you'd leave that for a Mania thing. I guess that's another lady who maybe could make a splash, but again, I don't know contract details. What's Mercedes doing? What's Sasha doing? She was having talks with AEW, made the appearance at All In, or was it All In? Yeah, All In London. If you're going to believe the rumors of the internet, it seems like those talks have hit a snag. I don't know if she's currently signed for New Japan. I thought she was. Or one of those companies, Stardom. I don't know. That would be interesting. But I think that would be insane if they were able to grab Sasha again, or, lock something down with Sasha again. Absolutely insane. That would be the biggest surprise ever. Or one of them. I just don't know the percentage. What's the probability of that? Because I don't know about anybody. I don't know where anybody's contract lies. I don't know what their deals are. That would be absolutely nuts. It would be a shame because I know AEW is looking forward to that, and that would be a big W for them. They really need to invest in their women's division. That's a separate conversation, but that would be another oof, little step down for AEW, which I know it's been a little bit of a bumpy roller coaster recently, but we'll see. But yeah, who do you think is going to be in this Rumble? Who do you think is going to win? Both men's and women's and all that fun stuff. Who do you think is going to make an appearance? And let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, guys, this has been another episode of the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can join in on the conversation. You can just catch it live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011. Drop a follow over there. You can join on the chaos with us, but if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show: likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, whatever it is, reviews. It may seem small, but it does help the channel grow. So if you take the time to do that, we would love and appreciate you for it. Thanks for hanging out today, guys, for the 2 topics today. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe. Enjoy your time with your family, time by yourself, traveling, whatever it is. Hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next one.